Good evening. I'd like to call to order the November 7, 2023 Little Rock City Board of Directors meeting. I'd like to welcome those that are in attendance as well as those watching at home or streaming online. Madam Clerk, if you would, please call the roll.
Director Miller?
Here.
Director Richardson? Here. Director Peck? Here. Director Hines?
Present.
Director Lewis? Here. Director Wyrick? Director Campuris? Director Phillips? Director Adcock? Present. Vice Mayor Webb? Here. Mayor Scott?
Here. I'm now going to ask City Director Lewis to give us the invocation.
Everyone bow your heads. Lord, thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for bringing us all together. We just want to give praises and thanks to you for all the many blessings that you have bestowed. Please, God, continue to watch and keep Bruce's family, his son Luke, and fiancee Siobhan, and everyone who worked closely with him. Please, God, allow us to do your business and give complete transparency and guidance for the public to understand. Please bring us together in unity so we can carry out the city's business as needed. And in these things, we ask in your son, Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. May we please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We'll now have a presentation by block. Thank you so much. We do appreciate you giving us this update, sharing where the city board has appropriated dollars to bring back our ambassador program to downtown Little Rock through a number of different funding, particularly between the Little Rock Convention and Visitors Bureau as well as the city of Little Rock. Just so thank you so much. We want to share that appreciation. Please go forward.
Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Folks, my name is Jake White. I'm with Block by Block, and I'm going to be talking about the Little Rock Downtown Ambassador Program. So we're excited to be launching here tomorrow, and I wanted to kind of briefly go over the services that we're going to provide. So our folks are going to be out on the streets of downtown Little Rock providing safety patrols, litter removal, graffiti abatement, health and welfare checks for folks on the street, power washing, business check-ins, and hospitality escorts. So our teams are going to be broken down into two classifications. We're going to have hospitality ambassadors and cleaning ambassadors, and I'll talk briefly about what each team will be responsible for. So our hospitality ambassadors, these are the folks that are going to be going around downtown in these uniforms that you see right here, greeting folks that they see on the street and welcoming them to downtown Little Rock. So it's hospitality. They'll be responsible for observing and reporting, and they'll be responsible for safety escorts as well. So on the observing and reporting side of things, our ambassadors will, if they come across any illegal activity, they're going to inform the public of what the rules and regulations are, and then they will decide what is appropriate, whether they stay until compliance until the person complies, or if they need to call the police and carry on that way. They'll also be responsible for safety escorts. So what that means is if you're getting off of work and it's late at night and it's dark outside and you'd like one of our ambassadors to come walk you to your car, then our ambassadors will be happy to do that for you. Business contacts, that's going in and checking in with the businesses in the downtown area to see if they need any of our services. Engagement with the street population. We're going to go around and develop relationships with the folks on the street, really try to become their friend, get to know them very well. We'll see them every day on our patrols and see what we can do about getting them connected with the services that are available in the city. That's a very important key aspect of what we'll be doing, and we're excited to do it. And finally, reporting and information sharing. An important element of the role of a hospitality ambassador is to collect data, to be the eyes and ears on what's going on downtown, so they can then keep that data and share that with partner organizations. The other half of our team will be cleaning ambassadors, and they'll be responsible for keeping the city clean. That involves manual cleaning patrols, going around picking up litter, taking care of graffiti. That'll involve some mechanized patrols where we go around with heavy equipment and take care of some heavier duty cleaning jobs around downtown. Of course, that'll involve graffiti removal, some power washing, landscaping, weed abatement, and supporting events downtown. So anything you can think of as far as cleaning, we're going to have a hand in that in the service area. The way that we're going to monitor our progress is through the SMART system. So what you can see right here is an example from one of our locations. These lines are all the paths of the ambassadors as they go around downtown about their patrols. And we use this information to make sure that we're most efficiently organizing the ambassadors to go to the right areas and to make sure that our ambassadors are within the correct area. So you may see up here on the top left there in red, why is this ambassador's walk path separated from the rest of them? In a typical situation, we'd be able to see that, and we'd talk to the ambassador and ask them, what it was that took them out of the service area. Now I happen to know in this situation, because this was from an account that I had worked on, that ambassador had just gone home on lunch to take care of something. I'm sorry, this is... But we would be able to use that tool to keep track of our ambassadors. Also, our ambassadors will be able to keep statistics on the work that they do downtown. So in this infographic here, you see all these dots on the map. All of those are where an ambassador did something to support the city and they documented their work. So the purple one may be some litter was picked up. The blue one there may be where they did a hospitality assistance and they helped somebody find something downtown, perhaps a tourist. So everything that they do will be kept in this database here called the SMART system. And this is our service area here. This is the area that we'll be supporting. Everything in yellow is the service area, and everything in green is the primary service area. Let's talk about launch. So we are launching tomorrow, November 8th. We're going to take a charter bus tour of the downtown area. Super excited about that. This will be a chance for our ambassadors to learn about the city so they'll be informed and can pass that information on to the folks they converse with on the street. We'll be fully operational by Saturday, November 11th. And we'll have a small team that deploys at 5 o'clock in the morning, Monday through Fridays. And their job is going to be to clean key areas of the service area and address any concerns before the morning rush happens. And then our regular operations will be from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m., 7 days a week. Our shifts will break down like this. We'll have one shift Monday through Friday that runs 5 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. That'll be 2 cleaning ambassadors. And then 7 days a week from 7 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. we'll have 2 hospitality ambassadors, two hospitality and cleaning ambassadors, and then the same thing from 12 to 8:30 with 2 ambassadors on during those times. And finally, folks, our mission statement is with pride. We make public spaces friendly and vibrant for the communities we serve. We are thrilled that you guys have chosen to have us here, and we intend to do just that here for Little Rock, Arkansas.
Thank you.
And if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Thank you. Director Richardson, is your hand up or is it for something else?
It's for this if you're referring to me, Mayor.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you for your presentation. Thank you for the work. A couple of quick questions.
Sure.
The first one, you made reference to us collecting information and statistics, and we're sharing them with our partner organizations. Who are those partner organizations are we sharing this information with? And who will be responsible for taking that information and doing an objective evaluation on what's working, what's not, what's needed? What do we have too much of? What outside entity are we talking about sharing that information with? And do we have another entity to do an objective evaluation of the information that's being collected? That's the first question.
Sure. Well, we're going to share that information with the Downtown Partnership. And then from there, the Downtown Partnership would use the information for whatever purposes that they decided. So they would be responsible for sharing the information as they saw fit.
And that's a perfect segue to my next question. I saw on the chart, I couldn't look at the streets, it was so small. Who determined the area that we define as downtown? Because 20 years ago when I was doing gang intervention work, the 12th Street area was considered Midtown, since the city of Little Rock has developed so much westward. Right now, where we are is considered Midtown. So who determined those boundaries, and is there a summary that you can give us, the street boundaries, the eastern, northern, southern, and western boundaries, other than that chart? I think you said one of them is the main one, and I think the yellow one is the primary, and the green one is secondary. Who made that decision?
Well, I would actually refer you to Gabe Holstrom to talk about
Director
where that-
excuse me, I'll answer that for you. Director Richardson, the Downtown Little Rock Partnership defined downtown as it relates to the ambassador program that was previously funded years ago. Secondly, with half of the dollars coming from Little Rock Convention and Visitors Bureau, there's particular areas around the convention center.
Sure.
And that's where their dollars specifically can only go. They can't go outside of that. But we do know it'll go from the traditional downtown and what we think of as far as downtown activity and to as far south to the Soma area as well.
So
It won't extend to 12th Street.
I got you, Mayor. So to that question then, given the demographic changes and other changes from when we had this before, have there been any changes with respect to how we're going to implement our ambassador program? Do we have a standard training curriculum or some best practices, some skill sets training that we have set aside that's developed specifically for these areas that we're talking about, not just something that's generic and it's not a cookie cutter approach where, we...
Yes, sir. And so Block by Block has their training manual that they've used in different cities. Clearly, they have to always adapt to different cities, and that's more of a work in progress. I think they'll use their initial manual, and as they work with the Downtown Little Rock Partnership and other stakeholder neighborhood groups within the areas within that area, they will adapt.
And Jake, is it correct?
Yes, that's right. So
Well,
I've been here.
I guess my question to you, would you be one of the people, or you or my friend standing next to you, or do we have a set of trainers set aside that we've had trained and already been a part of, if not our previous efforts, Mayor, or something similar, but have some sort of experience with respect to best practices in training and technical assistance to make sure this is an ongoing project or ongoing product that we can look at respectively from an objective standpoint and build upon and work upon. And sometimes I don't feel we're real good recipients of constructive criticism. So something that we have an avenue where people can provide feedback and give you guys constructive criticism, give us constructive criticism, so we can find ways, Mayor, to improve upon what it is we're adopting.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And I think the best person to get the feedback to truly change, one, you, the city board, we are the customer, and our constituents are the bosses, and we know downtown is everyone's neighborhood. And so as you encounter, because I know you interact with a number of different people that go across the city, if you're encountering any things that needs to have some constructive criticism, the best source will be Gabe Holstrom. Gabe, if you'll raise your hand. And Gabe can give a directive to those individuals.
Thank you. And my last and final question, when you did the shift diagram, tell me how many ambassadors how many ambassadors are we going to hire, employ from a total standpoint? I mean, you had some in different shifts, but from a total number of people that we're going to have participate, how many ambassadors, regardless of how we're breaking them down in shifts, how many total are we looking at, and at what cost will that impact our city and our city budget and the amount of funding it would take? So it could be 10, you can have 5 in the morning and 4. The total number we plan on hiring, I don't want to hear about the shift diagram part.
Right.
I think you did a good job with that, but just what's the total number that we're talking about employing or engaging to do these services that you just outlined?
The short answer is 8. 8 for the wintertime, and then we'll go up to 10 in the summertime.
Thank you so much.
Okay. 8 the ceiling and 10, 8 is the floor and 10 is the ceiling.
Yes, sir. So in April, we'll increase our ambassador number, our size of our team.
All right, Director Richardson, if we'll go to Director Miller unless you had another question.
And that's it, ma'am. Thank you.
Director Miller.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you for the presentation.
Thank you.
Will your service be on demand if I'm a business owner.
Of course.
I got some customers, and they want to get escort out to their car.
Right.
They'll be able to call you directly?
That's what's most exciting to me about this program, and that's what I've really enjoyed for the month that I've been here, going around and meeting the folks that live and work downtown. So starting tomorrow and then going into the next week, one of our big pushes is going to be getting our folks out there and handing our At Your Service cards out to all the business and property owners that are within the service area. So we're going to make sure that everybody has our number, they know our operating hours, they know how to reach us. And the short answer to your question is yes, absolutely. You'll be able to give us a call, and we'll deploy ambassadors out to your location at will.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Director Phillips.
Thank you, Mayor, and sorry for walking in late and missing some of the presentation, but
Thank you.
I got to meet some of your partners at a conference, and I know they're excited, and we're excited to have you guys here. So this may be a repeat of something you said, so forgive me.
No problem.
But what hours will people be available, and how did you determine which hours are the best hours to be out and about?
So we'll be on call from 7 to 8 p.m. And the way that we came up with that determination is from partnering with the Downtown Partnership and using their experience to decide that when will we get the most bang for our buck to have ambassadors in the field. So currently right now, our operating hours will be 7 to 8 o'clock.
Okay, but the on-demand thing that
That'll
Director
be
Miller...
7 to 8 o'clock. So you can call us anytime from 7 in the morning until 8 p.m., 7 days a week, and we'll be able to send an ambassador or a team of ambassadors out to your location.
Okay. I guess the flip side of that is if a business owner called at 8:45, then y'all are gone and off duty. Maybe someone's calling right now.
Might be what it is. We're starting tomorrow.
So I guess if I understand that correctly, and I guess this may be going to where Director Richardson's talking about, and maybe a conversation with Gabe, I'm assuming there's some flexibility there, right? We may learn that, hey, we may need to be out to 9, and we'll be willing to make that adjustment, correct?
Absolutely. So we got to start somewhere. This is how we're starting now. And part of the training process is to get out there with the ambassadors and see from experience what the best way to do things are. So there absolutely is some flexibility there.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mayor.
Anything else?
No, sir. Thank you so much.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for having us, and I'm excited to be here and get this thing rolling. Thank you.
All right. Before we get started, I do want to make an acknowledgement. One, members of the city board, you'll see a modification to tonight's agenda in regards to the renaming of Arch Street from 4th Street to Arkansas River. In memory of City Manager Bruce T. Moore, will be called Bruce T. Moore Way. Due to one particular building on that street being with the federal government, we have to wait technically a few days, but want to make that acknowledgement. It's ready to go once we go through this clearing period with the federal government. There's one main business on that layer will be okay. So this will be before you to vote on officially in December, and then we'll coordinate a actual ceremony of the actual naming in sometime in December of 2023 before we close out the year. All right, Madam Clerk, if you would, please read the consent agenda. And before she reads that, we'll get the best date to do the naming, whatever one's scheduled.
The consent agenda consists of a resolution to authorize the city manager to enter into a contract with Jackson Brown Pollucid Architects in the amount not to exceed $373,750 to provide architectural design services to rebuild Fire Station Number 9 located at 1324 North Shackelford Road, and for the purposes, a resolution authorizes the city manager to enter into a contract with Burkhalter Technologies Incorporated in amount not to exceed $1,459,575 for the construction of the Southeast Trail Project Phase 1, and for the purposes, a resolution to amend Resolution Number 15,957 of April the 11th, 2023, to authorize the city manager to modify the contract with Tetra Tech Incorporated for an additional amount of $200,000 for monitoring services of debris collection related to disaster recovery from the May 31st, 2023 EF3 tornado, and for the purposes, A resolution to repeal Resolution Number 16,122 of October the 2nd, 2023, that authorized the city manager to execute a contract with Casco Industries Incorporated in an amount not to exceed $56,250 plus applicable taxes and fees for the purchase of a Draeger XAM 280 gas monitor for the Little Rock Fire Department hazmat team and for the purposes. A resolution to authorize the city manager to enter into a contract with Northside Sales Company in an amount not to exceed $54,894 plus applicable taxes and fees for the purchase of a Draeger ZAM 280 gas monitor for the Little Rock Fire Department hazmat team and for the purposes. A resolution to amend Resolution Number 14,908 of December the 18th, 2023, to authorize the city manager to enter into an agreement with Forvis LLP, formerly BKD LLP, in an amount not to exceed $309,000 to provide certified public accounting services to the city of Little Rock, Arkansas for the 2023 audit and for the purposes. A resolution to amend Resolution Number 16,036 of June 20th, 2023, to authorize the city manager to amend the contract with Travelers Insurance Company to provide for a total revised premium for $1,857,314 for property and casualty insurance for city facilities for the period of July 1st, 2023 to June 30th, 2020, should be 2024, not 2023. And for other purposes, a resolution to authorize the city manager to enter into a contract with Canvas Community in an amount not to exceed $178,537.90 for the Bridge to Work program and for their purposes. A resolution to authorize the city manager to enter into a contract with ZMD Lawn Service in an amount not to exceed $129,113.40 plus applicable taxes and fees to provide lawn mowing and grounds maintenance services for Oakland and Fraternal Historic Cemetery Park and for the purposes. A resolution to amend Resolution Number 16,076 of August the 15th, 2023, to authorize an amendment to the Economic Development Consulting Services contract with the Little Rock Regional Chamber of Commerce in the amount of $178,000 for a targeted program to attract talented individuals and companies to the city of Little Rock, Arkansas, to ratify any actions taken to date as part of such a project. And for the purposes, that concludes the consent agenda.
Move for the adoption of the consent agenda.
There's a motion and second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say nay. Well, I'm sorry, Director Pegg.
I'm sorry, yes, just one very quick question on resolution number 3 for Tetra Tech. And maybe Mr. Honeywell, Director Honeywell can explain. So the city's not picking up debris anymore. I don't understand how we're still monitoring debris that we're not picking up.
I think the question was how we're still monitoring.
Right. I just don't understand the extension of this. If we're not, the city's not picking up debris anymore, the contractor's gone. So I just like some clarification.
Yeah, it's mainly related to FEMA and some back reconciliation, but
Just in the, okay.
that's all it is. It's just
Okay,
a
all right.
cleanup.
I just thought we were going to start picking up again.
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Just reconciliation.
Okay, thanks.
Hey, John, don't leave just yet. I know your stuff. I know you. Yeah, just don't leave just yet. Thank you. All those in favor, please say aye.
Mayor, I had a question before the vote as well as Director Peck. And real quickly, the last 3 or 4 of those involve a significant amount of funding. Are any of these that we just read through sole source agreements, or they've been issued through RFPs or RFQs? Are any of these last 4 that Susan just read off funded through sole source agreements? Or did we put RFPs or RFQs out for these services and for this amount of funding that we're putting out?
Yes, for the last, I know for a fact the last. So number 7 was a bid. 8 was a bid, 9 was a bid, 10 was a bid.
That's all. Thank you.
Thank you.
So RFPs or RFQs?
A mixture. Number 10 was a RFQ. Number 9 was a RFP, I believe. No, yes. Number 8 was a RFP, and number 7 was a RFP. It's my understanding. But they all went through a bid process.
So the $1,857,314 was an RFP, it wasn't an RFQ? That's
Yes,
number 7.
That Oh, the insurance, that's the RFQ then.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's what I thought. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much. We'll now transition to,
We have to take a vote. I'm sorry.
all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, will say nay. Ayes have it. We'll now transition to citizens' communication. Mr. Scrable. And Mr. Scrable, but this is not added to your time. I know we're notating your other change. Receive word.
Thank you. I put 12. I was wanting to talk on 11 right after citizen communication. Appreciate that. Good evening. Thank you for allowing me the privilege to exercise my First Amendment right. A few months back, we had a director propose a $10,000 raise for all the directors. That $100,000 will come out of our taxpayer pockets. Currently, they are making $18,000 a year, $346.15 a week. I've attended citizen communication and gone home from City Hall downtown, turned on my TV at 6:30, and the board meeting is over. When you have a 30-minute meeting, $346.15 a week, that's $692.30 an hour. The proposal was for $28,000 from $18,000. That would reap $538.46. A 30-minute meeting would reap the directors $1,076.92. Director Phillips felt that a man in his position and working a part-time job for the community and providing a public service, he felt he really needed to be making $30,000, which would be $576.92. 30-minute meeting would reap that gentleman $1,153.84. Virgil Miller, he wanted a real fat wallet. He felt that a job like this little part-time job, he wanted $40,000, which would be $769.23 a week. 30-minute meeting would be $15,038.46. If I may, can I get a raise of the hands of any city employee in this room that is making $692.30 an hour currently? No one. I have some directors, department directors behind me. Could they raise their hands if they're making $692.30, please? We bricked again. The money we contribute is real. We work for it. We take money out of our pockets to fund this government. It's not monopoly money. It's here to serve us. I'm gonna go ahead and get on to 11 here. Y'all are spending $478,000, $154.76 for the Municipal League Defense Fund. Let me tell you something. If the city attorney didn't lose cases, there wouldn't be a need for that fund. If the mayor hadn't been in court 30 times,
Mr. Scrable.
we wouldn't need that fund. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Scrable. We'll now transition to Mr. Johnny L. Miller.
Hi. I just wanted to come before the City Hall to see if I could bring my issue that I've been seeking to get some assistance on with a piece of property that I need as essential. The property used to be part of the old VA nursing home, and this house used to be part of it, and the open lot here all died, all to this side, all the way to the corner. It was the old VA nursing home. When they tore it down, they sold that as a standalone. Well, I didn't have a driveway, and in 2013, when I bought the property, I asked the VA representative that sold me the property who the property was being transferred to. they told me it was being transferred to the city department, which was being transferred to MHA. And up until now, I still do not have approval to buy a piece of land, which is essential. And really, around about 2014 or 2015, they sent my check back, which I put forth as a good faith earnest money as showing that I was serious in purchasing the lot. Well, as of now, MHA has entered into agreement using HUD funds to have houses built when all these other lots out here are available. They want to build on the very one in which I need for essential. I've been trying to reach everyone, but because I do have a disability which is not seen, but I'm a 100% service-connected veteran. I served, I believe, with honor, and I wanted to continue, but fate didn't allow it. And I'm just asking that something that I need for essential, a driveway, which we all need to enter and exit our homes. And I'm just asking that I might be able to get someone who could address this issue for, as of right now, after speaking with a lot of people. I contacted my representative, I contacted my senator, I even contacted members of the board, rather. I made inquisition. I have not spoken to my representative and other authority figures. I do have a meeting with MHA director Thursday. I'm looking forward to others in which I have left message for. If it may be that someone would address this issue, see if it's proper, if it's correct. There are almost 30 lots here. I do not think that it's proper that these should be the one to concentrate on and leave me without a way to enter and exit my home. If my home was facing the street.
Mr. Miller, if you will, your time is up, but if you'll leave that information with the clerk, and we will follow up on that issue as it relates to MHA.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Charles McNulty, Superintendent Charles McNulty. Doctor.
Evening, Mayor Scott, Board of Directors. It's great being back, and it's an honor to be back. Again, first time I was here, I talked about the loss of Officer Montgomery on the first day of school in the Robinson area, right in front of Robinson Elementary School. Since then, it's been an impressive opportunity to be partners with the city, the county, the Sheriff's Department, Metro Plan, and we feel like that we're moving forward, but I don't want it to be left alone. You know, the first day of school came and went. We are seeing increased activity and enrollment in the Robinson campus area, and we know we're going to have continued issues in traffic control. And I am very fortunate to have some community members that are going to also speak and talk about an opportunity we're going to have maybe coming in January to inform the board of directors and the mayor about having a solution that creates safety for our families, that creates safety for our students, as we increase our student population in Robinson campuses. So again, thank you for having me here.
Thank you, Mr. McNulty. Mr. Blake Parker.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm here just speaking on behalf of concerned parents at Robinson Elementary and
Talking to the mic.
I'm sorry, low stage fright here. No, I'm just here as a concerned parent, speaking on behalf of other concerned parents in the Robinson school system. I'm basically just asking for open minds and a willingness to get some more permanent solutions in place around the traffic flow issues around those schools. As Dr. McNulty alluded to, we've met with RDOT, Metro Plan, the city, the county, the various people and personnel around trying to find solutions to make it a safer place for not only the children, but the employees of the schools. And so somewhat formally want to ask that when we do have a chance for Metro Plan to come speak, that the board will listen with an open heart, open mind, and be willing to really look for permanent solutions to just make that a safer area. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll now go to Ms. Ann McPherson.
Good evening, Mayor and esteemed City Council members. My name is Ann McPherson. I'm a mother of 2 at Joe T. Robinson Elementary and a former educator. I would like to request your attention to the dangerous intersection at Joe T. Robinson Elementary, especially with it being off a major state highway. As you're all aware, it's been mentioned twice tonight, the first day of school, an officer trying to protect the safety of the students, the faculty, and those along the highway was fatally struck by a moving vehicle. And what should have been a joyous beginning first day of school, before the bell even rang, was filled with despair and grief. So it set the school year off with a sad tone. There have been some safety measures put into place since then, and we're grateful for them. One of the things that we've been very excited about is the partnership with RDOT, Metro Plan, you all, some city council members that we've gotten to speak to directly, and some signs have been put in place. For example, the school signs that we're all familiar with that flash, this is a school zone, 25 miles per hour. However, as of last Thursday and Friday morning and afternoon during carpool, they did not work. Additionally, we've had some police presence, but due to staffing shortages, as recently as last Friday morning and yesterday afternoon, no police presence was there. So while there have been some things to ameliorate these precarious situations, they're not concrete and they're not consistent. With that said, I'm excited, some of you guys may know, and if not, I'm really excited to share with you that there is the Joe T. Robinson School Zone Traffic Study that is being prepared by Kimley Horn Consultants under the contract to Metro Plan as part of a regional safety study. And because of this, qualified engineers with real palpable solutions, we will be able to present to you the findings of those studies. That study should be completed mid-December, and I'm asking you formally to allow a representative from Metro Plan with the concrete findings of that study survey by qualified engineered, not just concerned parents and the superintendent that cares so much, to present the findings of that study and offer those solutions. And please listen to what they have to present, because the safety not only to the students and faculty and staff, but everyone is paramount, and those are the people that would be able to present that. So if you would give them time at January's meeting, it would be much, much appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Director Phillips.
Thank you, Mayor. I want to thank the Pulaski County's Special School District representatives and the parents for coming to speak today. I did have an opportunity to speak with them prior. And I want to say publicly, thank you for continuing to work. We're working through this. I've had communications with our city attorney to try to figure out what can be done legally and in conjunction with those other agencies. So your work and effort and time is not in vain. We do hear you, and we are working on it. So I just want to say that publicly, that we're going to stay after it. And of course, we will allow Metro Plan to present to us that information in January. All right, that's all I had, man. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll now transition. Madam Clerk, if you would, please read item number 11 and 12 in the grouped items.
An ordinance to declare it impractical and unfeasible to bid, to authorize the city manager to enter into an agreement with the Arkansas Municipal League in an amount not to exceed $478,154.76 for the participation of the city of Little Rock in the Municipal League Defense Fund for certain litigation costs, expenses, and coverages, to declare an emergency and for the purposes, an ordinance to dispense with the requirement of competitive bids and to authorize the city manager to enter into a sole source contract with Motorola Solutions Incorporated for a total total contract amount not to exceed $850,520 plus applicable taxes and fees for the purchase of cloud video storage for Motorola body-worn cameras and mobile video vehicle recorders utilized by the City of Little Rock Police Department to declare an emergency and for the purposes, first read.
Move suspend the rules and place on second reading.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say nay. Ayes have it, second reading.
An ordinance to declare it impractical and unfeasible to bid, to authorize the city manager to enter into an agreement with the Arkansas Municipal League in amount not to exceed $478,154.76 for the participation of the City of Little Rock in the Municipal League Defense Fund for certain litigation costs, expenses, and coverage, to declare an emergency, an ordinance to dispense with the requirement of competitive bids, and to authorize the city manager to enter into a sole source contract with Motorola Solutions Incorporated for a total contract amount not to exceed $850,520 plus applicable taxes and fees for the purchase of cloud video storage for the Motorola body-worn cameras and mobile video vehicle recorders utilized by the Little Rock Police Department to declare an emergency. Second reading.
Move suspend the rules and place on third and final reading.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say nay. Ayes have it, third reading.
An ordinance to declare it impractical and unfeasible to bid, to authorize the city manager to enter into an agreement with the Arkansas Municipal League in an amount not to exceed $478,154.76 for the participation of the City of Little Rock in the Municipal League Defense Fund for certain litigation costs, expenses, and coverages, to declare an emergency, an ordinance to dispense with the requirement of competitive bids, and to authorize the city manager to enter into a sole source contract with Motorola Solutions Incorporated for a total contract amount not to exceed $850,520 plus applicable taxes and fees for the purchase of cloud video storage for Motorola body-worn cameras and mobile video vehicle recorders utilized by the Little Rock Police Department, to declare an emergency. Third and final reading.
And boards, we've had three readings before we go to a vote. Director Computers.
Mr. Mayor, pardon my hoarseness. Last week I asked for a 5-year compilation of money spent and money paid out, and you have that summary, I think. Or can talk.
Yes, sir. And I can, as you know, we've discussed that. It is, and long story short, as we were still working on the numbers, but you are aware we were working on it. 5 years, the subtotal that we have paid to AML is over 5 years is $2,399,247. The payments that they've made is $1,629,076. From that standpoint, there have been settlements. From those settlements of that standpoint were $178,700, and on the city's share, on the AML share, that was $500,000 that they pay more. The total difference of the last 5 years is $948,000. As we are aware, that's a 5 year, but if you look back 10 years, there are times where it's flipped, but in the last 5 years, it's from that standpoint.
May I ask the city attorney a question?
Yes, sir.
Tom, would you tell me how this works, and do they have to take anything that we ask them to look at, and do they have to pay anything?
No, they do not have to take anything that's sent to them. For example, if a member of the board of directors should sue the city, they don't take those cases. They basically, in civil rights actions, have a 90-10 payment matter. In employment matters, it's typically 50-50, but it is an anticipated they will pay. They're not required to pay it. If they were required to pay it, it would be insurance, and they couldn't operate the way they do. So we're paying, hoping that they'll pay.
Right, and that's what I understood from the last time too, that we're in a situation where we're hoping that they cover what we don't cover, and they don't have to cover it, and if it does, it still comes back to our liability. Is that correct?
if they don't cover it, and there's a judgment, then we'll have to pay the judgment.
But generally, Director compares, there's very minimal times where they haven't paid anything, and as we know, there have been times where we've been on the hook and they have paid the 90%. But we did, to your credit, we did look at some other insurance companies, and the big issue with other insurance companies is that they would not cover our police officers, and we know a lion's share of the issues are with police and fire, and so that's another component to it as well.
Well, how could we get that covered, Tom, if the other insurance companies won't do it? Is there a way of self-insuring if we have if this balance is so
There's a way to
skewed?
self-insure. The only issue with self-insurance is you may have a history like we have where it's been 5 years, and of course, during the course of that, you had $1-something million and you save up 10, and then you get one case like Brianna, the lady in Louisville, where it was a $28 million settlement, and suddenly you don't have anything. So that's part of the problem with self-insurance.
But Director Capiras, I know that you want us to, we're committed to continue to research other avenues. At this point, as we've shared, that's not feasible, but we do understand your.
No, as you know, I have a somewhat bitter taste in my mouth since the last situation we had a interaction with this organization. And I think that they did not treat us as a board fairly, and I don't think they kept us appraised of the situation. And so I am very leery of their ability to perform and their ability to be a partner with us in a situation. And that's my qualms about what we're doing right now.
And we'll continue to monitor. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say nay.
Nay.
Ayes have it. Madam Clerk, if you would, please read.
And emergency clauses.
All those in favor of the emergency clause, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say nay. Ayes have it. We'll now move to item number 13. And Director Capiras will continue to look into those issues and monitor.
Thank you.
Clerk, if you please read item number 13.
I didn't know if you wanted to open the hearing before or after.
I think I did.
Oh,
Thank
I
you.
didn't hear that. I'm sorry. An ordinance to establish and lay off City of Little Rock property owners multipurpose improvement district number 2023-003 of Little Rock, Arkansas, Carter Lane Improvement District, to declare an emergency and for the purposes, first reading.
Move to suspend the rules and place on second reading.
There's a motion there, a second.
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say nay. I think I heard ayes.
Roll call vote, please.
Roll call.
Director Wyrick?
No.
Director Capiras?
No.
Director Phillips?
Yes.
Director Adcock?
No.
Director Miller?
Yes.
Director Richardson?
Present.
Director Peck?
No.
Director Hines?
Yes.
Director Lewis?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Webb?
No.
Director Richardson, would you like to change your vote?
Yes, I'd like to change to a no, please.
Ordinance, or second, take it to second reading fails, 4-6.
Members of the board, I do want to share with you that we are in potential violation with a pending lawsuit. With that being said, we're going to have a special called meeting at the next Tuesday to make certain we get this voted on. So to those who are watching this, there will be a special called meeting, and we'll get to a third reading on it. We have to do it from a legal perspective. And Director, City Attorney, would you confirm what I'm saying so they know what?
The mayor is correct that the request for the improvement district was made some time ago. It has been put off, And at some point, the developers are going to claim that we have caused them damages. They send us kind of a daily amount.
And we cannot afford to take those damages, and so we'll have that special call meeting to the folks a part of this process the next Tuesday until we get to a third reading. Well, now, Director Pierce, is your hand still up from earlier? From earlier, awesome. We'll now transition to our budget discussion. Members of the board, you know we had a very lengthy budget meeting last week. I want to just share our appreciation for you all sticking it out. There have been a lot of things that have been shared with you. I know a request from Director Hines is still being worked on from Public Works. I think all the other information that Director Richardson requested, he's received that information via email. We've sent all information. Are there any questions about the budget? Clearly, as we shared, there will be a rough draft presented to the city board for review, not for action, on November the 14th. We're still on that schedule. That will include everything. And based on the revenues that we have and the expenses, we'll try to get to all we can, but it's based on revenues and expenses from that standpoint. Are there any questions about last week's budget discussion?
Quick question, Mayor. I know is the draft budget we're going to, I'll wait till you. Okay, the draft budget we're going to receive, is that going to be?
Hold on one second, Director.
Yep, absolutely.
Closing the public hearing. Carry on.
Okay, the draft budget we're receiving next week, is it with the anticipation that the union negotiations will be complete and included in that budget, or how does that work with what we're going to get next week?
Generally, we include in the budget a estimate, but it is not determined as we're still in negotiations. It's my understanding that there will be a vote. That generally takes 2 weeks or so, but we have passed the budget with the understanding of long story short, they normally don't take anything that they don't expect their membership to not pass, although it could happen, but it's never happened. That being said, we'll have, yes, and short answer is yes, we'll have what we think will possibly be passed by the union.
And that's all I'm getting at. I just want to make sure we're looking at numbers that take into account those negotiations.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. That's all I have, Mayor.
Members of the board, any questions on the budget discussion? Any questions on the budget discussion? All right. I'm sure there'll be questions next week. All that being said, is there a
move to adjourn?
There's a second. All those in favor, please say aye. All those opposed, please say nay. Ayes have it, meeting adjourned.